Welcome back to Wake Up and Live with the Arts. I'm James McGilbray. Sue Johnson is still with us here. And joining us now is a good friend, someone that I've gotten to know over the years and have been proud and honored to know. His name, first of all, is Don Iannone, and good to have you here, Don.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Sue.
And just to give you a little bit of background, I had the opportunity to meet him, actually met him through someone else, a lady by the name of Zara Larson, who was a student at Case Western Reserve University in their graduate program. And she says, you have to meet this amazing guy, this Don Iannone. He's a Renaissance man, he's all of this. And I says, well, okay. So she brought him to meet me, and we've been friends ever since. And of course, Don is a great friend of the Wake Up and Live Actors Studio. So
much
good.
To his chagrin.
Well, so Don, you know, when I first met you, I got a chance to see your first couple of books of poems and loved those and enjoyed them. But you've been doing so much since then. I mean, obviously you do the business, but let's just catch up. What's new in your life these days?
Well, it feels really great to finally get on the creative path and to feel productive about it. I think that's what is new in my life. You know, Mary and I have enjoyed a wonderful marriage, and we had the opportunity to travel and take a lot of great pictures. And so in my photography work, she is probably responsible for a third of all my pictures that you see. But I've really been working at being productive, and that is publishing books and trying to do more exhibitions and more poetry readings. So that's what's new, I guess, and that's been great.
Okay. Well, now, of course, the reason that we initially met was because of the nature of the business that you were doing, consulting and doing some of the things that helped organizations to be sustainable. To what degree is that still a focus of your life?
Well, very much so. Sadly, I still have to work. But it's been great. And I've done a lot of work with arts organizations.
Namely?
Well, Wake Up and Live, number one.
Studio.
That's right.
We were so thrilled and honored that you dedicated and devoted so much of your time to help us with strategic planning.
Well, I appreciate that.
We're still trying to get it all done.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But, you know, I learned a tremendous amount from that exercise, and I don't know that I've ever had the opportunity to thank you for that because it was a great experience. But I now serve on the board of the Artist Archives of the Western Reserve, which archives the work of 65 visual artists across Ohio. And we just went through a strategic planning exercise there as well. But it's very gratifying to work with organizations that really need your help. And that's because that's not always the case.
Right.
But I felt that in working with your amazing organization, with the archives, and with others. So it's you know, it's a chance to really personalize what you do in life, and to me that's more important than anything.
And you are expressing not only your creative spirit, but we also love to chat, when we get a chance to chat about his spiritual side. We are so connected, especially some of the places he loves to go. Oh, Sedona, Arizona.
Yes.
Are you still going out there?
Absolutely. We were in Arizona just about 5 weeks ago. Not for such a good reason. I lost my best friend and college roommate very unexpectedly. But lots of interesting things happen as a result of that. But yes, spiritual places are very important.
And is it reflected in his poetry and his photography? And we just recently, I was able to get to your most recent poetry reading, what Don does periodically with a couple of folks from your building or your group. They present poetry readings, and it's just like the hippie days, only it's much more sophisticated. And every once in a while I'm able to get to one of your offerings.
I appreciate you coming.
I love it. And you get to hear some original creative poetry, and it's fascinating, the different perspectives and the different styles.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but now you're on to also an awful lot of photography, and you have 2 examples of what you're all about now. James?
Shall we start with this one?
Why not?
Why not?
Magical Light, Cleveland's Lake Erie Sunsets, Sunrises, Sunsets, and Night Skies by Don Iannone, and hold it up there so that people
And
can
let
see
me
that.
interject while you're holding it up. He lives in Bracknell on the seacoast. No, that's called Lake Erie's coast. And it is the most phenomenal, peaceful, beautiful, crisp, clean, clear. I mean, I wish he'd invite me to live with Mary and him, because that
You're invited.
we still never have had dinner in the new place.
That's
you
right.
know,
We haven't. Yeah.
You know how life
We
will
will.
do that.
I know.
But anyway, that's why this book is so important, because it brings about another appreciation for Cleveland and the beauty that we have right here.
That's right.
And he loves Lake Erie. So while you chat, let me see if I can find an example.
There you go.
In Magical Light.
Well, and speaking of which, and since it deals with the subject of water, I have a question, because when I read your biography, I went back over everything, and I brought it here so that I could make sure to read it word for word. And I want to know where you got this from, or if you created this yourself. But listen to this closely. Creativity is the wind of the soul that blows on our inner waters, giving rise to waves of curiosity, awareness, passion, and ultimately love. Art is the ability to navigate the soul's waters, ride the waves, and give form to our creativity. That's amazing. Where did that come from?
Well, it's actually, the idea came from my first book of poetry, which was called Stilling the Waters. And I just felt that that was a good way to personalize my view on creativity and art, which I hear continuously, and you both have been great mentors in the sense of reminding me and everybody else that you have an innate creative ability, and you just need to work on expressing it. So my thanks to both of you. But it came out of the first book, and it for me, that's how I connect art and creativity. And I think water really is a powerful symbol of emotion, and it kind of captures the flow of life. So that's how it came together. The first thing that I wrote, I read and I said, anybody could have written this, Anybody.
No, that's not true, but go ahead.
But I stole it from my first book.
Okay.
Well, and tying it, one last quick thing about that, tying it to this book about Cleveland. When people ask me, well, what's so great about Cleveland? A half hour later, when I'm still going on, one of the things that I get to is, we have a great lake.
Yes, we do.
Not a really good lake.
A great lake.
It's a great lake.
A great lake.
And
Yeah.
and that spirit is embodied in the work and in the city. So just wanted to mention that. So Sue, you had turned to something there in the book in particular.
Yeah, it was one example which I hope the camera is able to pick up. It's one of your obviously a Lake Erie photo. And this one is alien-like ice formations on Lake Erie shore. And you took this at East 55th Street, Cleveland, Ohio, in mid-December. I hope we got a close-up, because you can even see all the, are they called seagulls?
Seagulls.
Seagulls.
Lake gulls, actually.
And I mean, they look like little flies. He caught so many, and I've seen much of your work, which
Thank you.
captures the intricacies of the beauty of nature and life. And you find beauty, he finds beauty everywhere. Cleveland is less of a joke than it has been in the past, but he's one of the champions of Cleveland from all perspectives, and you find the beauty, you find the spiritual in it. And water, of course, with the spiritual connection to water,
That's
you
right.
really bring it out. So who is your muse?
Oh, my muse, it tends to vary. I mean, if we're talking about water, it can be listening to the waves at night, sometimes the rain. But I think nature would certainly be my muse in all forms. But everyday life, and I think that that's the great thing about photography, is that it helps us pay attention in life, which it's easy in the hustle and bustle of whatever you do to basically forget that you've got this amazing world around you. And I think, yes, we have a wonderful city, and it's easy to overlook things. That book that you just opened up is called encounters with the soul of Cleveland, which, in my view, goes beneath the surface of all the things that we typically look at. But this is all about finding Cleveland and its essence and its sense of place in everyday life. Ordinary people, and just lots of very special places. And sometimes we overlook that, and so that's what that book is about. And I think it's also a reminder that as we rebuild the city and make it stronger, that we need to remember what our city is really all about. The essence of the city is really the people of the city, and it's our natural environment.
That's
so
right.
it's those two things.
Well, and the creative spirit is everywhere. On our last episode of the Wake Up and Live show, we had Peter Van Dyke,
Oh, neat.
the architect.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he's designed so many really,
Beautiful edifices.
really
he has.
Blossom Music Center and others. And you know, I'm looking here at some of the, even a simple structure, or at least what appears to be a simple structure, like the Latter-day Saints Temple in Kirtland, from the 1830s, followed and completed by Joseph Smith and his followers.
Yes.
You know, historic architecture, and we have a lot of that around here. A lot of
We do.
and that's art in and of itself, wouldn't you say?
Very much so.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful way. So now, this particular, now are both of these available to the public now?
They are. They are.
Okay, how does one go about obtaining a copy of each of these?
Well, Amazon.com. That's probably the fastest way, and if you just look for my name as the author, you'll definitely be able to find it. This is the review copy of the Encounters book, so it's not yet out there, but it will be available through Amazon.com.
Well, not only that, but you just segued into not only go to Amazon.com, but because you still walk 2 or 3 lives as a business strategic planner, an artist of poetry, photography, and then you have your community service-minded self. Are you still doing things with Bratnall?
Well, I
bit?
did serve on the master plan committee, which I think was really a beneficial exercise because you know, and historically the community has not had to plan because we've been so blessed, but we do now.
Okay.
And so
Everything changes.
everything changes.
Right.
It does. It
So
does.
what we need you to do is tell us how anyone can contact you for any of your
For
many
anything.
business and creative services. I cannot speak highly enough about his skills, technique, strategy, and his spirituality, which comes in through his work as a business consultant specializing in strategic planning. Did I get that right? Specializing in...
I can't believe all those wonderful things. I'm going to have to write this down and listen to it myself.
Listen to it
but
yourself.
thank you, because
Yeah, but we need to be able to contact you in case the company is interested, or because now you said you're doing exhibitions now, and
Yes.
galleries, and
I have a new show coming up, Beechwood Public Library, which starts May 10th, and that's when this new book will be released, and it'll run through June 6th. So,
Okay, so how can people reach you so they
Okay.
or the Beechwood Library? that
yes,
right? Yeah,
it'll be on their schedule, but my website is don.iannone.com, donyanone.com.
Well, your name when
It's
I
easy.
first met you was Don Iannone.
And it still
It
is.
took me forever to get that Iannone right instead of Iannone.
That's all right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
darling. Well, listen, when you get home today, give Mary my
I will.
obligatory hug and squeeze,
I will.
please.
And I have a present for you.
You have a present
I
for
do.
me?
I do.
For us? For me?
Yes, and I'll hold it up here, but you'll remember this. This is when we first met.
That's when Leon and I did Love Letter. And you photographed this. Oh,
Isn't
my
that amazing?
God.
And I have some fine pictures of you as well, so James, don't be surprised.
Uh-oh.
Now, you
That's
know I'll
beautiful.
cry about everything, but oh, look at you.
Isn't that
Look
nice?
at you.
No, don't look at me. Look at you. And as it happens, I do want, as we do wrap up, I do want you to know that Don is both a black and white and unbelievably color photo photographer as well. And black and white is like the old movies genre. You know,
is.
it brings
It
out a
is.
whole different flavor
It does.
of what you're taking pictures of. Oh, look at this one, James, with the snow scene.
Yeah, you could do this through the whole book.
The whole book, the whole show.
Oh,
Yes.
ooh, kind of like fireworks.
Fireworks. And you know what?
That's a great way of putting it. I like that.
Okay, well, thank you for that photo.
You're certainly welcome.
It will hang in a place of honor,
Good.
okay? And I'll show it to Leon because I'm due
Good.
to see him soon.
Good.
Okay, sweetheart, I love you. I'm thankful that we finally connected. You've
I
been
am
so
too.
busy traveling all over the country for
I
the
know.
past
I'm sorry.
year or so. Well, don't do it again. Okay, James, any final words from our friend who you are responsible for?
Well, just again to say it's a distinct pleasure. Having gotten to know you over the years, I hope we have many more years to get to know each other better.
I hope so too.
And I want to wish you and Mary the very best in all of your future endeavors.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, stay tuned. We still got a lot more, but I'm not telling you who. Be surprised.